Hello everyone, welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, a New Year's Day special. Yes, I am Scott Carney, I'm here on my own today, and yeah, it's a bit of a New Year's Day special, kill a bit of time probably, but no, there's been a bit of a fallout. There's been a lot of aftermath after the old firm, and there's a few things that I thought I'd come on and pass my opinion about and to really get a few things off my chest, I think, anyway. So, yeah, first of all, Happy New Year to everybody from all of us here at the podcast. All the best to yours from mine and others. I hope you have a fantastic new year. All the best for it going forward to you and yours. And yeah, but the biggest thing is just a thank you really from all of us here at the podcast just for the support we've had over the last year. It's an incredible support that you show us. The support is mega, honestly, absolutely superb, and the podcast itself is kind of going from strength to strength. We've had a really good year. We've brought on Jamie and Nicky now as well into the fold, and we hope to just kick on from strength to strength. And I say we're hoping to start the podcast the year off with a bang, with our live show at the Loudon on Friday the 19th of January. Tickets are still available for that. The link is in the description for this podcast. Please come along, see us, have a bit of a laugh and a giggle with us, share a beer with us, and of course we'll be joined by Stevie Clifford from Four Lads of a Dream. Always good to have Stevie on board, and his opinions and his insight into Rangers are always interesting and always good for a chat. So yeah, hopefully you can spare £7 now that the big man's been and gone. You can come along and join us, as I say, on the 19th of January. Really excited to see you all there. So hopefully you can come along. Right, we'll go into the old firm, the kind of aftermath, the fallout, whatever way you want to look at it after the defeat to Celtic at Parkhead. First of all, I have to get something off my chest. I know what we do as a podcast, and I know by us being a majority of a free podcast that I put myself out there for a lot of criticism, and it's up to people to do what they wish with it. I've received some pretty horrible messages from Rangers fans, and I know them to be Rangers fans as well. It's not people hiding behind. It's not trolling stuff, and it's the personal insult stuff that I can't really stand. I can't understand what people are hoping to achieve by it. I am all for different opinions. I've always said that. I sometimes enjoy when people disagree because you can have a debate about it, an adult conversation about things. But when you're coming on and you're kind of calling me names under the sun and calling me things that I already know I am, I don't understand what you're trying to achieve by it. And I was disheartened by some Rangers fans doing it. I really was. I was like, that's, to me, that's just not on. You just don't do that. Look, some of the comments that we get from some of the other side of the city, you would expect it, you would, and it's water off a duck's back to me. It doesn't bother me, it really doesn't. There's others that come on that leave pretty fair comments, and I've got nothing. That's fine. If that's what you wish to do, you wish to come on and watch a Rangers podcast, leave your comment, and you're not being personal about stuff, you're just passing your opinion, by all means do so. You're helping my podcast. It's not something I've ever wanted to do. I don't go watch Celtic podcasts, never have, never will. It's not in me to do so. But if other people want to do it, I've got nothing against it. Generally, I've got nothing against it. It helps the podcast. But when you've got fellow Rangers fans making personal insults to me, making comments to me that are they're just really not called for, and it's just not on. If that's what your game is, go somewhere else and do it, because you're wasting your time and you're wasting mine. And I just don't understand what you're hoping to achieve by it. It is few and far between, but when it happens, I just it does, because it does harden you slightly that other Rangers fans would choose to be like that towards you. But look, each to their own, I suppose. But I say I know what we are, and I know what I'm doing by the terms of putting myself out there. But just don't waste your time. Really, don't waste your time. And these people that have done so are well aware now. They do know so. But I just give it a miss. Just give it a miss, because it is what it is. It is what I know what I am. So there's no need for you to come on. But I mean, there's in previous as well, I've had comments about my family and stuff like that as well. And I know that's all part of social media and online and the internet and the vicious place that it can be at times. But I suppose I was just trying to get it off my chest that I won't tolerate it here. I really won't tolerate it at all because I just don't see the need for it. I'm never personal to you, so don't be personal to me. Disagree with me all you like. We'll have a debate. We'll have a conversation. We'll have an adult conversation about it. I'm all for that. I generally am. But I expect it from some elements of the other side of the city. I don't expect it from anybody that's a Rangers fan. I really don't. We're all in the same boat here. We're all trying to do the same thing. We're all fighting for the same goal, aren't we? So I just don't get it. But anyway, I'll move on from that. But again, I had to get that off my chest. So the Old Firm, yes. So on Saturday I did a reaction with Alistair after the game, and again I'm always full of emotion after a game, after full time, and we very much record pretty much after full time. So a lot of things that I said at the time I might not necessarily agree with once I've had a couple of days to calm down, or I might slightly change my opinion on it. The reason that we do that is because everybody's looking for some form of content as well after the everybody wants to feel our emotions the way we are after full time, and I'll never be happy when we get beat by Celtic at Parkhead. I'm never, no matter how the game goes, I'm never going to be happy about it. It's who I am, it's what I am, and I make no excuses for it. It's just the way that I'm going to be. Maybe slightly critical on some of the things I said, which as I say, I will kind of digress and I'll discuss and I'll kind of break down a wee bit further. But it is all very much raw. It's all very full of emotion as soon as we record at full time when we do that. So, but the game itself. So look, ultimately, what cost Rangers was I made a comment as well after the game that if you're picking holes in the officials, then you're clutching at straws. I was 100% wrong about that. Obviously, based on now the shenanigans that's going on with the SFA, it's pretty poor. But I'll get into that further. I'll stick to the match first of all. And I'd said that we were the mentality thing. I do still believe there's some players that have got too much baggage for these games, for these big matches, and it's something that needs to be addressed. The mentality is better. I'm not going to say that it wasn't. I think previous Rangers teams in previous years would have crumbled after going 2-0 down, and then especially down to 10 men. I think that there were previous teams that could have crumbled, but we didn't. We kicked on, and it was Tavernier that got us a goal, and it was Tavernier that gave us the wind on ourselves for the last kind of 10 minutes of the game, which again is probably a problem in its own. The fact that our most prolific goal scorer is our right back, and that's a problem that we're not unaware of. But I do think he was poor the rest of the game, as well a lot of others. Obviously, Dessers, I don't think we need to go really deeper into Dessers. I think I tried my hardest to back him because he was the only option that we had. And I thought, what option do I have but to back him? He's not good enough. He just isn't good enough. He shouldn't be anywhere near a Rangers team. He shouldn't even be an option for us. I don't think coming off the bench, he failed drastically on Saturday, and he wasn't helped by likes of Sima and Cantwell, who I thought just didn't show up and really just struggled to get anything going at all. I thought Rangers started all right for the first kind of 10 minutes or so. I thought we were kind of in the game, but we fell away and we got caught out, and the pressure built, and ultimately they scored from it. And that's it. They've got players that will take their moments when they come. We don't. We've got a captain that will score a free kick, and that's it. Really, there's not much else happening just now, and it's something that obviously Clermont's already tried to address by bringing in Silva, which I think we're all very excited to see. Now, onto the officiating itself. Look, I would say I was a bit harsh, I think, about what I'd said about clutching at straws. I think I was wrong there. I do believe that I was wrong, and obviously now after watching the game back, having a few days to calm down, and now the pretty poor showing that the SFA are giving themselves for by their standards by refusing to release audio to Rangers at the time being anyway is it's a real concern for the rest of Scottish football. I'll start with the contentious one, the handball incident. Now, look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm an expert on how VAR works, but I do know that the offside, as far as I'm aware anyway, and somebody will probably correct me in the comments, the offside is irrelevant, I think, because I think it would only have been checked if it was a goal. If I'm correct in that, and what I've read over different bits and bobs over the social media and different sites and whatever else, then I think that's the one that will. I think everybody's going to say one thing, everyone's going to say another, but it's more about the decision itself. Rangers were not rewarded a penalty because Willie Collum said it wasn't a handball, right? Now, everybody I've spoke to, people of the other persuasion as well, can't understand how you can say that isn't a handball. It's not in the natural position. He punches the ball out the pitch and a goal kick is rewarded. So it's not offside. It has to be a penalty. And if not, it's a corner, right? So none of it is correct. Absolutely none of it is correct. Rangers have now learned that the penalty wasn't awarded because Colm thinks it wasn't a handball. It had nothing to do with the offside. The offside thing that was released half an hour later was Willie Colm trying to cover his tracks. When I seen that come up on the telly while I was watching it in the pub, and I seen the offside, I was like, why are they showing that now? And to me, it just stinks of Colm trying to cover his own tracks. It really does. He said one thing, he said another. There is so many conflicting statements of what's actually happened. Rangers, I think, were quite rightly to request the audio from the discussion that you had with Nick Walsh. I've not even started on Nick Walsh yet. That now the SFA are going, what do we do? We're going to have to play delay tactics here. I seen yesterday that on Heart and Hand, the source of this is from Heart and Hand. David Egger released a couple of tweets that said the following: the SFA have refused to meet with Rangers officials to the winter break or release the audio of the VAR discussions yesterday to them. A Rangers spokesperson said Rangers officials stand ready to meet in person or virtually with the Scottish FA at any time to hear and discuss the audio. However, the Scottish FA are refusing to both share the VAR audio and meet until at least Wednesday, 5 days after the Old Firm match and after the next round of Scottish Premiership fixtures. This is clearly unacceptable and heightens Rangers' concerns over the lack of transparency for which the need is urgent. Rangers have learned no penalty was awarded as the VAR official Willie Collum concluded a handball offence had not occurred in the first half. While the club and most observers are astonished by this professional view, we remain perplexed and concerned about the Scottish FA's motivations for sharing an offside image with broadcasters during the second half, when this was not the original reason why the penalty was not awarded. England's Premier League and other leading European leagues operate a nothing-to-hide basis where open communication and full transparency are available to clubs and the public on contentious VAR calls in a timely manner. On a weekend where not only Rangers but also fellow Scottish FA member clubs have major questions over potentially match-changing incidents, our governing body would do well to heed the same mantra. Now, I wholeheartedly agree with this. I wholeheartedly agree with Rangers' statement, the Rangers spokesperson's statement. I think it's absolutely spot on. Willie Collum should be removed from his position. He should not be allowed to referee any game. I'm not talking just a Rangers game, any game in Scotland, because he's biased and he's got a tendency to do the wrong thing for what he thinks is the right thing for him. Pretty much. Willie Collum is a shocking ref. We've known it for years. It's nothing. He's got previous with stuff like this. But the excuse that the reasoning that he came up with is wrong. They've then created the offside thing, which again, if the rule is correct, and whatever rule it may be, it still doesn't really matter at that point because that's not why the penalty was not awarded. The penalty was not awarded because Willie Collum thought that was not a handball. I struggle to find anybody that would say that isn't a handball. It's a clear and obvious handball and it should have been a penalty. So because of the reasoning that Willie Collum gave, now I don't know if he gives the penalty, if he then has to go back and check to see if there is an offside. I don't know. I really don't. As I say, it's all a bit up in the air just now. I think a lot of people have different opinions, but ultimately I don't think all that matters. I think this is more about the officials themselves. What the SFA are doing just now is a delay tactic to try and figure out how they're going to resolve the problem and how they're going to somehow work their way out of this one. And it'll probably be the usual thing of where the SFA will do what we want and there's nothing anybody else can do about it. And with my blue tinted glasses on, I understand that. The rest of Scottish football should be concerned about this. They could be concerned about the motivations of the SFA to keep things quiet. Why are they doing this? Can you imagine if this was the other side of the city that was requesting audio? Do you think this would be the same? Do you think this would be the same result the SFA would give? I highly doubt it. The pressure that gets put on by the other side of the city came to fruition on Saturday, and in fact makes me sound like I'm wearing a tinfoil hat. And fair enough, but there's no other reason for it. Collum and Walsh would never have gave Rangers a penalty on Saturday. It was never going to happen. That's as clear a penalty as you're probably going to get. He punches the ball out the park with his hand. It's a clear handball. And Johnson would also have had to have been sent off because he'd already been booked. So there's another decision that the officials were never going to do. Nick Walsh also as well bottled it twice. So Johnson elbowed Seam on the face. Bernardo cleared out Goldson. Both were on a booking. Both yellow cards. Again, I don't think that's up for contention, and I don't think that's because I'm wearing blue tinted glasses. They should have both been sent off, and Rangers would have been up against 9 men for 10 minutes or so. I think it was 12 minutes. I think it would have been 2-0 down. We would have been up against. Would have been up against 9 men, and it also took 85 minutes for Carl McGregor to be fouled. Carl McGregor made 8 fouls. I think it was 8 fouls, and it took till the 85th minute for him to be booked. This is what this agenda is. This the worst conspiracy of all time that they'll let you believe in. It's now affecting the officials, and it's now affecting the SFA. Rangers will, and I'm pretty sure they will not let this lie, and I don't think they should. And even speaking on that, see the Balogun red card all day long. Like, I mean, as soon as he done it, I went, he's off. I was like, that's a red card all day long. The boy was straight through. Balogun pulls him to the ground. It's a penalty. It's a red card, sorry. I've got no complaints about it at all. Absolutely zero. But what I do have complaints about is before that, who knows what would have happened. If they were down to 9, we still had 11 on the park. And we had a chance to go at them in 9, 11 against 9. But again, it was never going to happen because of this worst conspiracy that you've ever heard in your life is getting continuously floated about. Now, in terms of the way the SFA have reacted, it's appalling. It really is. It's shockingly bad. It really is. I don't think there's. Am I shocked though? No, because this is what they are. But this is what the thing that we go on about all the time is that the rest of Scottish football need to come together and hold these guys to account. They really do, because we're getting red for mugs, and they're making this game a laughing stock. They really are. They really are, and that's even before you get to the fact of the Celtic not putting up any tickets for away supports for no reason at all, because they didn't want to, and the SFA just went, okay, no fight, that's absolutely fine. Or SPFL just went, okay, do what you want. Again, this is all just part of the same narrative. These guys are not fit enough to run this game in this country, and our officials are certainly not. Our officials are a laughing stock. They're a joke. They are nowhere near the standards required to be officiating top flight football in this country. So yeah, it's one that's going to go on. I'm interested to hear the outcome of it. I'm sure we all are. But it's an opinion that I have went back on from what I'd said on Saturday, that yeah, there is very much questions to be answered by the officials here, and especially Willie Collum. I don't believe Willie Collum should referee in this country ever again. I really don't. And I think there would be many fans of other teams in this country that would agree the same. He's a terrible referee. He really is a terrible referee, and it's time something gets done about it. So look, we'll sit tight on that. We'll see what's going to come of it. But yeah, I actually seen a funny tweet that somebody said if the SFA won't meet Rangers until Wednesday, does that mean we can appeal Balogun's red card and he'll be able to play on Tuesday? And I thought, well, wouldn't that be funny to see how they reacted? I'm pretty sure they would rush in a quick hearing before the game, that's for sure. So yeah, it's rules for one, rules for another, that's for sure. But Rangers I don't think they're in any mood to take this line down, and I don't think they should. So things will roll on, and we'll hear more about it. And when they do, you can be sure that we'll be passing our opinions on it. So on to Tuesday now, as I say, we have to go again. The last game before the winter break, we play Kilmarnock at Ibrox tomorrow, 3:00. A 3:00 kickoff, and I'm expecting quite a tough game. I think Kelly they'll be up for it. I think they drew at the weekend there, and they conceded a kind of last minute goal to make it 2 each, I'm sure. Anyway, I think they'll be feeling up for it. They'll be looking to capitalise on us coming off the back of an Old Firm defeat to obviously try and kick his winning, but we're down, even though I don't think we are fully down. I don't think that's for sure. I don't think we are. I think there's still more in us. But the team itself, I only stood kind of maybe one or two changes. I don't think there'll be a great deal in it. I think Suter will come in for Balogun. I think the rest will pretty much be the same. I'm not sure if Silva can play, and if he's available to play on the second. If he is, I would put him in straight away, and I would drop Dessers. I'd play Silva through the middle. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm not 100% sure about that. I don't think there's a press conference today. I think it was kind of done after the Old Firm, and you're not going to get much from that. You're not going to get much from that. So be interesting to see what the lineup will be tomorrow, if he is available, or if he even makes the bench anyway. And yeah, as I say, I just win in any way you can, Rangers. Just a win. That's all I really want. Is just to get a win tomorrow, set us into the winter break, and we'll have a chance to get new players in, have a look at the squad. Clement can figure out how he's going to do things going forward. Obviously, with Shima going away to the Africa Cup Nations as well, but we've got an area of the pitch we need to address there for a while until he's back. I think he's not back until is it 13th of February or something like that. I think it is until he returns. So yeah, and even at that, he won't have had a break. So yeah, it'll be it's interesting to see going forward in a big window ahead. Sure, for Clement, we're interested to see what he's going to do and who else he brings in and who he maybe tries to move on. But yeah, just win by any means at all tomorrow, Rangers. That's why I'll take a 1-0, I'll take a 2-1, I'll take whatever. On that, my prediction, I will go for 2-1 tomorrow, and I'll go for Shima to sign off in style before he goes away on international duty. I'll go Sima to score first. Look, after the Old Firm, I'm not at a point where I think everything's doomed and Clement's not making progress, because I believe that we are making progress. And ultimately, we were one goal away from them throwing sharks. It's as simple as that. If that had been 2 each, they would have been absolutely furious, absolutely beyond furious about it. So they've also made a few comments after it. McGregor and Rodgers have made a few that should really just put fire in the belly of Rangers players. It really should. They should be reading that and thinking, we're willing to show you, and we're willing to kind of put things right. But I believe Clement is still the guy to be taking us forward, and I believe that there's no other way to put it. I was speaking to Stevie about this the other day. Clement was polishing a turd, and you can only polish a turd for so long. At the end of the day, it's still a turd, and that's kind of the best way I can put it. And that this team needs some repair. It needs some fresh legs. It needs some fresh minds. It needs some fresh eyes in it. I'm really hoping Clement can, and the director of recruitment can really work their magic and bring in some well-needed legs, well-needed new faces, well-needed quality. And quality is the biggest part. We need somebody that is going to put the ball in the back of the net. We need probably more than one. We probably need two that are going to put the ball in the back of the net. Because right now we don't have really any, especially along the front line. I know Seamer's been scoring well, but the performance on Saturday wasn't great. And same as Cantwell as well. I think he needs to start putting his money where his mouth is. But look, it's all these things that are going to need addressed, that I believe that Clement will be doing. He'll know now who he can trust and who he can't. He'll know now who he wants to keep at the club and who he doesn't, and he'll know who he wants to bring in, etc. So look, I'm still hopeful, very much hopeful for the rest of the season. We win the 2 games, then we're back to 2 points, and you never know what can happen from there. It's just never nice to lose an Old Firm. Never nice. Anyway, thank you to listen to me rabble on for about 25 minutes. I again wish you all Happy New Year, all the best for the year ahead. I say we'll be back tomorrow. I think it'll be myself and Alistair from the car tomorrow after the game. So until then, I hope your team wins tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your New Year's Day, whatever you may be doing with it. And I will speak to you all tomorrow. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers, everybody.